Come on now, the button didn't work. The button didn't work. Morning, 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 all. How are we doing on this fine April 23rd edition of Makers and Movers? Today, talking about firing a customer. Something we had to do. And so, what better thing to talk about? Why it's fresh in our head, it's firing a customer. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever had to fire a customer? We're going to talk about that. Now, with that, it's your first time here. It's what I need from you. Who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, and what the weather is like in your area. If you're Team Replay, make sure to comment below. Team Replay. Make sure as I ask questions, you comment below. I'll come back and answer those. And like, share, and subscribe. That really helps. The other thing is your list of 5 things you're going to do today. I don't know. We've got a lot going on today. We had a pretty large DTF order came in, so that's going to pretty much take up most of the day. DTF, invoicing, ordering supplies, meetings, and that's it. We're only going with those. And let me check something. There's that. Okay, so there's that. So that's all I got. So check in. Let me know you're here. Let me know all that fun stuff, and we'll get into this here shortly after we do, because I'm already flustered today. Kelly, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Got coffee in the cup. 50 degrees here. It was gorgeous here. Taking the kids to school. I think it's supposed to get up to like 80 today. And then rain tonight. So we'll enjoy it while we can. Kids get out of school early today, so that's a plus. Currently, we are sitting at 59 right here. I will take it. Barb, good morning to you, North Central Minnesota, 42 and sunny. Water in the cup, 5 things, invoicing, Wilcom training, embroider sweatshirts, order blanks, customer emails. Barb's got a busy day in front of her. Tim, good morning to you from Toledo, 62 mile, all the way to 77 with Pink Monster drink. Not a bad day, is it, Tim? Not a bad day at all. We had where was I going with that? Somebody was asking us something about tint, and I was like, oh, I kind of know a little bit about that. Couldn't answer the question though. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, oh, nope, I haven't heard Tim talk about that, so I don't even know what the hell it was. I think it was flat glass and second stories and things like that. I'm like, lift, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I have no clue what you're doing. Okay, so with this, we're gonna talk. We're going to talk about how we can fire a customer without starting a fight, because I know there's times that we just want to, that it really gets there, because some customers are just a lot, right? And sometimes they're asking the impossible of us. Sometimes they ghost us after quoting things. Sometimes we just know right from the get-go that they are going to drain the life out of us. They're going to drain the life out of the business. They're going to drain our time. They're going to drain our patience. They're going to question everything. And sometimes you just say, no, thanks. And without, just completely blowing up. So we'll walk through this, how we can, set some policies that do the firing for us, some scripts to use when it's just not a good fit, some ways to raise prices strategically, especially on those headache jobs, looking for those red flags before the order even starts. And, maybe a little mindset shift. That was a little hard. That was hard. The words are hard this morning to go through. So let me check in. Have you had to fire a customer? Let's just start with that. Let me know. Have you had to fire a customer for it? Sandy, good morning. Long time no hear. How have you been? Coffee in the cup, ordering product, making inventory for this weekend show, invoicing, working on third quarter goals, embroidering orders. Very nice. Very nice, Sandy. Jerry, morning, Tom, Bard, Tim, High Voltage, and Honeybee. And Jerry says, sometimes clients are just not for us. That's right. They're just not for us sometimes. And Kelly's got engraving, updating the lobby, T-shirts, quotes, and banking. Kelly's got a busy day. Tim, I got a bunch of things to do. Making hats till tint job at 12, another tint job at 1:30. Also have to find the time to go get the vinyl that I had a local shop cut for me. Tim's got a busy day in front of him. In front of him as well. Okay, so let's just dive right into it, right? We started this business why? To make cool stuff. To not lose sleep over things, especially emails that start with, "Hey, I know it's the last minute, but I know this is the last minute, but I had somebody order transfers yesterday, and it was for a rush job that they need tomorrow. So we're going to get them done today, and they're like, hey, can we add more to this? Yeah, we're already doing that. We can take care of it. So some are better than others. We've all had these customers, and there's a lot that have left us questioning our life choices, right, and our pricing. And so, what can we do? This isn't about being rude or petty. It's about reclaiming our peace, right, and learning to say no in ways that are calm, clear, and conflict free. I don't like conflict. Some people thrive on it. I'm not one of those people. So it doesn't matter who you are, you deserve to have boundaries. And hopefully we can give you some tools with this. So one of the things that we can do is we can set the stage with policies, and then we can blame them. Oh, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, when we clearly communicate our policies up front, we don't have to argue later. We just point back to the terms and smile. It's not personal. It's just a policy. By having that clear structure around revisions, around payments, around turnaround times, what that means is that when somebody crosses that line, it's easy to say, per our policy, per my mom, per my policy, we can move on from it. So, someone asks for 3 extra design changes. How do you respond? Totally get it. My policy includes 2 rounds of edits. After that, it's a $15 charge per change. And let me know how you'd like to move forward. There's that. They want it tomorrow. And you say, hey, my policy includes a 25% rush fee for orders needed under 72 hours. Happy to make it happen. So what does that do? That puts it back on them. Here's our policies. Here's everything laid out to it. We refer back to it. So what you need to do is you need to write down your top 3 non-negotiables, revisions, turnaround times, rush fees. Post them on your site, post them on your order forms, email them and email so that they're ready to go for reference. No drama needed. Here's your policies. And you can just refer back to that per policy. Everything's listed right here. You can have a link to it on all invoices that you create. You can do everything that you can with it to make sure that it's easily accessible to them. Number 2 is the good old tried to, it's not you, it's me, right? It's not you, it's not me. When a customer relationship isn't working, sometimes it's just best to move on, it's best. Let me get my head times. Sometimes it's the best move is just to gracefully walk away, right? We can blame, the bandwidth that we have. We can blame the outfit that we're wearing. We can blame what we had for breakfast. We just don't want to blame them. And we're going to avoid all that defensiveness. We want to avoid all that defensiveness, right? This will give us that polite way to decline projects or repeat customers that just aren't a match for us anymore. We're not ghosting them. We're just being grown up. And what it actually does is it builds respect with it. We could have, a high maintenance customer, that keeps wanting things you don't offer. You can say, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. I think your project would be better suited for someone who specializes in that style. We've ran into this with artwork plenty of times where it's just outside, our comfort zone of what we do. We're not going to produce for them what they want. Hey, find an artist to do this for it. Maybe we've worked with someone before and we do not want a sequel of what happened. Hey, this just might be a better fit elsewhere, but I truly appreciate you thinking of me again. Now, we do a lot of outsourcing and bring that, but sometimes even that doesn't fix these problems. Sometimes it is just a better fit for something else. Just because we can do it or have access to somebody can doesn't mean we always need to sell it. So what we can do here is we can draft up that not the right fit message. We can keep it short. We can keep it polite and non-specific. And that way, when the next red flag client shows up, you can copy paste and just keep moving along. One of the easiest things that we can do is we can raise our prices. And we can do that on purpose, right? Because high maintenance customer, what do they want to do? It's time to add that pain in the tax. Add that PETA tax, folks. Raising prices for difficult request is the gentlest way to fire a customer because they usually fire themselves. And you're not trying to price gouge. You're simply trying to make it worth your while. And if they walk away, great. One less headache on the calendar. If they choose to stay, at least you're getting paid to deal with that. So maybe a customer says, hey, I need 10 shirts in the next 2 hours with custom names. And you say, absolutely. With the rush fee and personalization, it's $565. And just like that, poof, they're either going to do it and make it worth it for you, or they're just going to go away. That's too much. Okay. That's too much. Go away to this. That's all you have to do. We could have that same, I know we've all ran into this customer, right? That is always asking for the hookup. What's the hookup? What's the friends and family discount? What's this? What's that? Listen, true friends and family won't ask for discounts. Right? They know that you're in business to make money, and they're not going to ask you for that. So when they keep asking for the hookup, hey, I've updated my prices to better reflect the materials and time. Shirts now start at $30 each. Maybe that request will start really slowing down, or now you're making more money with it. So what we can do then is we can pick our most annoying type of job and update the pricing on it, and add a buffer that actually compensates you. And whether they book or bounce, it's a win for you. Leave, you don't have to do it. Sign up, or they go ahead with it. You can make a little more money. So it's not horrible, not horrible at all. Before I move on, we'll check back in. You guys let me know in the comments. What are you thinking so far with things? Let's see. Clay says, good morning, Jerry. Brian says, didn't fire them. I just locked the door. That's not a bad one either. Just locking the door. By appointment only. Right? And Jerry's laughing at Brian. And I did buy some Meta Ray-Ban glasses so I can get some more footage. Ooh, let me know how those work. I've been pushing around the idea of it, but I need this. Jerry says, I need this script. I stumble over my words too much. Jerry, we'll have it for you. We'll have it for you in there. Okay. I'm like, what is this? What's going on over here? Message came through. I didn't really understand. Okay. Number 4. Let's recognize those red flags early and exit sooner. Because sometimes the best way to fire a customer is just to not take them on at all. Trust your gut when it comes to when it whispers, this ain't it. When your gut is looking at you and says, this ain't it. Something's wrong here. We shouldn't do this. I don't got a good feeling. Listen to your gut. The sooner you exit, the less energy you're going to waste on this. And most times red flags are going to often show up pretty early in this. They're going to haggle on pricing. They're going to ask vague questions. They're not going to answer the questions you ask them. They're going to push boundaries right out of the gate. So if we can learn to spot these, we won't have to fire them because we never started with them. So, somebody can ask for a quick quote and keeps piling on the request of things. You say, hey, thanks for reaching out. I don't think I'm the right fit for this project, but I appreciate you thinking of me. That's it. You just don't want to do it. Just not the right fit for this project. There's a lot of people I know that they won't take on certain scopes of jobs. They won't do anything political. They won't do anything religious. They won't do anything controversial. That's them. That's their business. That's how they're set up. That's what they want to be. And that is great by them. And they can just say, hey, this just doesn't align with our values, so we're not able to do it. And they're fine with saying that. We're just not going to do it. So, appreciate you thinking of me. Just doesn't fit with us. We've had that client that starts with I could do this myself, but I don't have time. My cousin has a Cricut and can do this. I can borrow a heat press in this, but I just don't have the time. And then what do you go with? Hey, gotcha. That sounds like something you'll want full control over. So, wishing you the best. Reach out to your cousin, borrow the heat press, have fun. Wish you the best with it. That's it. So we're looking at this. What we can do is we can write down 3 red flags that just drain you. And when we spot them in that DM, that email, and that customer request, we already know how to respond with the no thanks and a smile. And just keep it on. And then to wrap this up, we're moving ahead a little quickly on the schedule today. Say no just because you can, right? Let's normalize the fact that we do not need a dramatic reason to say no. You're the business owner. You can just decide not to take the job, and that's enough. This is your permission slip to protect your peace without over-explaining yourself. You can be polite and firm. You don't need permission. You are the permission. So, a customer wants to rehash a canceled order from last year. You just relay, hey, thanks for thinking of me again, but I'm not available to take this on. Simple and done. That's it. Yep, they're not available to take it on. Done. Somebody starts getting pushy and rude towards you. You just say, hey, I'm not able to continue this project, but I wish you the best. Clean, confident, and just totally justified. Done. So what we can do with this is come up with that soft no message that you can use anytime. Save it in your notes app. Save it in your custom drops on your phone. Save it in your email. Save it wherever you need to save it so you have early access to it. So then when somebody crosses the line, boom, send, done. We're protecting your peace of mind with it. So as we wrap this up, boundaries are our superpower, right? They are. We didn't start this business to chase invoices, to wrestle with the revision monsters, or deal with folks who think, can I get a discount as a love language? Just didn't do that. We started to build something amazing. And sometimes that means you walk away from what's not amazing. So how can we fire that customer without the fire? We can set up those clear policies and let them fire themselves. We can use it's not you, it's not me to bow out gracefully. We can raise prices for chaos and low ballers. We can spot those red flags early so we don't ever even start those jobs. And we can just say no because we're allowed to. You can protect your energy and your reputation. You can be kind and have boundaries. And you can absolutely be in control of who you work with. Why? You're the business owner. So we just got to hit that block mentality, that block button mentally, and get back to making cool stuff. And that's what I got for you today. Quick, simple, painless. Love to hear your comments, thoughts, and how that all works. As far as what's going on this week, we've got, we do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure to like and subscribe and share. Sharing's caring, folks. We have our mentorship call that is also Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting at 9:30. So a little bit after that, you can find the link to join that down in the description. Things will be changing up next month. So get in now before prices increase on that. And we've got I've actually got a meeting tomorrow, partly today, partly tomorrow. Step 1 today, step 2 tomorrow, on the marketing agency that we're working with to build out and have some really cool things that we're hoping to have available there. Probably mid-May is what we're shooting for, to have that available. And it's everything that we're doing in our business. We're actually pushing everything through. We're showing what we're doing with Corey's business, how it's working. And so the same thing. And we're talking like the things we talked last night in a comment thread, just the business emails, the sending messages to customers, the following up of things, the scheduling of posting content, all these things that just take time to do. And when we look at it, hey, what's that going to run me? It's going to start $300 a month, $297 a month. You're either in or you're not. I don't care. If it's too much for you, it's going to be too much for you. But with that, we're going to take care of a lot of that out there. So if you value your time and you look at it where, hey, posting on social media sucks for me and I don't want to do it, and my time is valued at $125 an hour. Well, hey, this is going to takes 3 hours. I get 3 hours of my life back. Oh, wait, I'm spending 10 hours on it now. I'm making it back. So we're not going to be super, super, super thin on the value. It's going to have tons of value with it. And the price is going to be reflective of that. That's where it's going to start at. It's going to go from there. We have a new mentorship program that we've been tested out with a few people, and they're loving how it is. And so that's going to drop. We've got a lot of stuff coming up there in May. Keep watching our Facebook, keep watching our groups, because you'll see more and more things close to that as we get closer to it. We'll check. I think everybody's in here, got everything. Hi, everyone from Linda. So we got that. So we're going to wrap it up early. 600 and where did I just do on the math? 685 linear feet of DTF order. What do you think that's what's on? That was a single order that was placed. So that's what we got to get to get everything rocked out with it. All right. You guys have an amazing day. Like I said, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, do all of that for you. Until next time, peace, love, press on. We will see you then.